Greetings. Oh yeah. 3 steps to disengage from habits. I'm going to give you 3 practical steps that you can apply in your life to make lasting change related to thoughts or behaviors or any kind of patterns in your life. Habits. I have a whiteboard, so I might as well use it. This is what I bought it for years ago. Bought it, put it on my wall. I have used it a bit in counseling sessions. Come over here and write something up. Okay, here we are. So 3 steps to disengage from habits. Well, I could just write them down and you would be able to make perfect sense of them. This microphone cord is going to get in the way of the camera, I fear. Well, we'll see what happens. And you can figure it out on your own, but what's the fun in that? So I'm going to write it down, talk about it, write it down, talk about it, write it down, talk about it, and that'll be the video. You've seen these things done before. And I'm going to do that because other people do it, and it seems to be what people do. So I'm going to do that. All right, well, you have something in your life that you don't like, you want to change. Maybe it's not that you don't like it, but you'd like to do something different instead. So you're looking for a change in your thoughts or behavior patterns. First thing you got to do is understand. This marker's not working. My eraser's not working so well either. Can't get some of these marks off of here. Understand. That's better. Understand. You got to understand what is going on. Increase your awareness. Heighten your awareness. Now, this is good for everything in life. Heighten your awareness. That's just the answer to all problems. We could stop there, but I didn't write it down, so we're going to talk about a bunch of other things because that's not the point, even though it is crucial in life. Heighten your awareness, but apply it specifically to the thing that you want to make the change regarding. So you're going to understand what's going on. If you don't understand what needs to be changed or what is going on in your life that you don't like, then how are you going to make the change, right? Pretty basic, self-explanatory. That's why I said I could write it down. I don't need to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it because that's why we're here. That's why I'm here. I don't know why you're here. No clue why you're here. This microphone, when it hits my chin, then it makes noise, I think, or my beard. This isn't going so well. See, I've recorded this before. I spent about 20 minutes talking like this. So I'm using the back of my iPad camera, and so that way this will come out legibly and not mirrored. And so I recorded 20 minutes of going through this before, and then when I walked around to press stop, it said no storage space. And actually, I'm going to check right now to make sure it's not doing anything like that. Okay, still recording. I've removed some stuff off of it to try and free up. I don't know how you deal with this stuff. Storage space. I'm looking at it. It says it's got like, the system takes up like almost half of the storage space that's filled is the system, and there's no way you can get in there and change that. So what's the point of life? How do we deal with that? Anyway, I already went through this all, and I thought I did a good job. Probably I did the best I ever could have, and so it's just too bad if this isn't good enough. It's because I already spent it all on that. So blame that. Blame the iPad storage, not me. So you got to ask some questions. Ask the who, what, when, where, why, and how of the thing that you want to change. So we could be talking addictions. We could be talking any kind of patterns of behavior. We could be talking not doing something you want to do, like I keep referring to the desire to exercise more consistently. It could be, I want to make a change in my life. I don't like my sedentary lifestyle. I want to exercise more. I need to understand what's going on. Why don't I exercise more? Or how could I exercise more? What am I doing right now that prevents me from exercising? Why do I think it's important to exercise? Why do I not exercise now if I think it's important? Who could I incorporate in my life to help me make this change? Are there people in my life that are keeping me doing the thing I don't want to do? Or are there people in my life that could support me in making the change? So those are some of the things we could ask. There's the who, what, when, where, why, and how of it to understand what's going on. We're trying to gather information, gather data. I have it written down on a piece of paper. That's why I'm looking down this way. If you couldn't figure that out already, but you probably did because you are a good detective. All right. So as you ask and answer these questions for yourself, you're increasing your awareness. Like I said, that's pretty important because your awareness is going to allow you to fully understand why you're doing the thing you do. And this is where mindfulness can come in handy. Is this where I want to talk about this? Yeah. Yeah, I think this is it. This is it. This is where I want to talk about this. So we're going to write these things down. Something that I recommend as a mindfulness approach to people trying to break addiction habits is to first understand it. Take some time. Don't make a plan. Don't, oh, shh. All right, dropped my second one already. Don't do anything. Just try to understand what's going on. So think about, why do I do the thing I'm doing? When do I do it? And to incorporate some mindfulness in the moment. When you go to have that cigarette, when you go to have that drink, what am I feeling right now? Am I feeling something physical? Am I feeling something emotional? Am I feeling something, just this awareness of something? Where do I feel it? And what do I hope to get out of using the substance? And then as you imbibe, what are you feeling? Is this bringing relief? Is it bringing paranoia? Is it bringing some other kind of feeling? Is there a physical sensation as you drink the substance, as you smoke the substance, as you snort the substance, or as you engage into behavior? It doesn't have to be substance related, but as you do the thing that you are doing, that might be the thing you want to change. What do you feel as you do it? Like smoking, what does it taste like? What does it feel like in your throat and your lungs? How does the smoke affect you? And then what is the immediate feeling? Is it giving you relief? Is it giving you the satisfaction? Is it giving you the thing that you were hoping to get out of it? Whatever it was you were trying to get from it. And then how does that make you feel afterwards? Do you feel guilty? Do you feel ashamed? Do you feel happy? Do you feel content? Do you feel satisfied? Do you forget that once it's done, it's over with, you forget about it, you move on? What is going on? Understand these things. Write it all down. Don't focus on stopping or anything like that. Right now, it's just understanding phase. And this could go on for as long as you need to go on for. I usually recommend with cigarettes, because I usually use this approach a lot with that, would be for about a week. Monitor your use. Now, if you're smoking a pack a day, that's 20 cigarettes a day for a week. So that's 120 opportunities, 140 opportunities to identify what you're feeling, when you're feeling it, why you're feeling it, how you're feeling it, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so maybe that's a good benchmark. I don't know. That's all right. Understand. Next step. I'm just gonna not even finish that last thought and move on to the next one. Next step is to see how I am unable to talk and write at the same time. Make a plan. If I can ever figure out how to talk and write at the same time, then I will become a professor. Not because that is all it takes to become a professor, but that is the one thing that's holding me back from being qualified to be a professor. Did I just say the same thing in two different ways? I don't know. All right. Recipes and blueprints exist for a reason. They're helpful. If you don't know what goes into a cake, then you can't bake a cake. So you need to know what goes into a cake, but you also need to know what order it goes into the cake. Same thing. If you're building a house, you need to know what materials are required to build the house, and you need to know what order to put those materials together. So recipes and blueprints can help in those kind of things. Some people can bake a cake or build a house without a blueprint or without a recipe, respectively. And it's because they've had experience. They have enough experience where they're not doing it without that plan. They're doing it with a plan, but the plan is being created ad hoc, on the spot, as they go along in real time. And that works in some cases, but I recommend not taking that approach if you're trying to change a habit. Because if you're trying to change a habit, it's going to take some time and it's going to take repetition. And so if you're going by the seat of your pants, these expressions are weird, but if you're just going on the fly, I don't know. It's easy to forget steps in the process that way, I think. And so we're trying to be precise here. We're trying to recondition. And so I think that the repetition, the plan is going to be necessary for the repetition. And so you want to have a plan. Change the page so I can look at what else I wrote. What else I wrote. All right. So, but you can't. So I guess the point of having understand first. Again, I know I'm going to excruciatingly painful detail that is so obvious that you don't need me to talk about this, but I'm going to anyway. And I wish I could talk faster, or not talk faster, but say it more eloquently. But this is all right. So I'm exercising this right now. I'm understanding how I do these things, present information, and then after I do this enough times, then I can then analyze how I do it and make a plan for how I can do it better. See? All right, there, made it relevant. Good. So once you have an understanding of what you want, once you know that you want to bake a cake and you know that it requires flour and sugar and oil and eggs, then you can start to put together your plan of how you're going to combine those things. Are you going to put the flour in a bowl and put the bowl in the oven and then take it out and put eggs in? Or are you going to mix all the ingredients together and put it in the oven? So you got to know what is needed and then what process or what order and what method is going to work the best to get the end result. That's where make a plan comes in. So once you've done your research, you understand all the things that you want to change, all the things that you're feeling, you're mindful, you're aware. Now you can figure out, with that mindful awareness, you can figure out what the best method to follow is to get your end result. And that's where you make a plan. And this plan could include your goals. What, like, I want to exercise more frequently. It could include recognition of the problem. I am sedentary and I'm not exercising and my health is failing, so I want to exercise more frequently. It can include those things if you want to, because I'm talking, write it down, right? Put it on paper. Write it down. A song by Hidden Horizon, a friend of mine. It's a good song. Look it up. Write this down. It's a good song. I like it anyway. So it could include those things, but it needs to include what you're going to do in place of the thing you don't want to do anymore. So for me, with the exercise thing, I don't want to be sedentary anymore. So instead of sitting down and scrolling through my phone or sitting down and watching a movie or sitting down and watching a TV show or sleeping an extra half hour in the morning, I'm going to get up and exercise. I'm going to go ride on an exercise bike or do the little thing on my app or whatever I'm going to do. But I'm going to make a plan of how am I going to replace that behavior. So if I don't want to smoke cigarettes anymore, maybe I will make a plan to do a 2-minute breathing meditation on my break at work instead of smoke a cigarette. Right? I'm not going to tell you a whole bunch of things of how to do it because I don't know what's going to work for you. You might not know what's going to work for you. You're going to have to trial and error and just pick some things out and try them and do them. But I can give examples, but I don't want to. I think you should do it because it's your life and you got to figure it out. Because you got to find out what you want to do. What do you want in your life in place of that thing, and then do it. But so the last important part of this, I think, is to visualize it, to create the reality in your head before you create it in reality, in physical reality. Envision in your mind doing that 2-minute breathing meditation instead of going outside to smoke a cigarette. For me, I go to bed at night and I can think about, when I get up in the morning, I'm going to go and exercise. This is what I'm going to do. And then when I get up in the morning, as I'm lying there not wanting to get out of bed, I can think about, this is what I'm going to go downstairs and do in the next 5 minutes. But I visualize, I create it in my mind. And it might take some time to visualize it before I put it into play, before I do it. But that's part of the make a plan function, I think, part of the method, or the second step of making a plan. And the third step is to do it, right? So get to work is what I call it. Get to work. That's a wonky O. Work. Get to work. Understand, make a plan, get to work. I should have come up with something that rhymes a little bit more with plan and stand, but I did not. So get to work. But you know what it means. Again, like I said, this is all very self-explanatory. Take a picture of that, and then you don't need this whole 15-minute video. So what do I want to share with you about get to work? Well, all the knowledge in the world doesn't do you as much good if you just sit on it, if you never use it. So applying that knowledge is going to be useful. And we make plans all the time. We're always planning on doing things that if we don't do them, then what's the point of making the plan? If you have the recipe but you never bake the cake, what's the big deal of having a recipe? It's good to have, but you got to put it into practice. And so you got to get to work on these things. It's not complete. The method is not complete, and just like your goal is not going to be accomplished until you put the plan into work, to put into action. And understanding it doesn't matter if you don't make the plan. So you got to build on these things. With exercise, with putting this into play, with getting to work, I think the important thing is to remember to have patience with yourself and to be forgiving if you stumble along the way with your new process, if you're not keeping up with the schedule that you have for your visualizations. Keep practicing at it. Be patient. Be forgiving of yourself. And remember that it's going to take practice. It takes time. In order to achieve something good, you need to put the work into it. And so you're going to have to practice this and keep up with it. And it's an everyday thing. We learn through, we condition through frequent repetition. And so if you want to change conditioning, you're going to need to have new conditioning, and that new conditioning is going to happen slowly over time. It could happen fast, but be prepared in case it takes longer than you expect it to. And expectations. The last video was about expectations, and I don't know what I said, but go, if you want, watch that. So that's, I think that's all I got. That fizzled out properly, and we are done here. So go about your business. If you want to make a change in your life, understand, make a plan, and then get to work. Thanks for watching.